Pretty Collective, welcome back to the channel. For whatever reason, I thought that I had done this video before, but I can't find it anywhere, so I may have deleted it. We're going to get into a story about spiritual exploitation, when people who claim to have psychic powers or who work as mediums exploit you, when they take advantage of you because they have this expertise that they say can help you. So we're going to start with a fictional story. So this is one that could happen to anybody. So we're going to call our young lady Lisa. Lisa is 42 years old, and she was navigating a grief that was so profound it was impossible for her because her husband Mark died suddenly in a car accident. He left her a single mother to 2 children. She was overwhelmed and she had guilt and she was longing for closure, so she began searching for answers. So late one night she was scrolling through social media and she came across Clara. Clara was a spiritual medium who had glowing testimonials from clients who she claimed she had changed their lives. She had this little thing she would say in her videos, reconnect with your loved ones. Like she would put that in her post. So Lisa, who was desperate for some peace, decided to book a session with Clara. So Lisa got to Clara's office and she thought her office felt like a sanctuary. It had soft candlelight, it had the scent of sage and crystals that sparkled in the dim light. So she met Clara and Clara greeted her with warmth, understanding, and tapping into her emotional state. She told Lisa, Mark is here, like she was certain that he was really there. And he wants you to know that he forgives you. That made Lisa freeze up. She had carried this guilt over their last argument before he died. And Clara's words just kind of hit her, and it like hit her deeply. She wanted to know, how could she have known, like he would say something like, he forgives me. So Lisa started to cry, had tears streaming down her face, and Clara continued to share messages. The messages felt personal, real, and Lisa was convinced that it was her husband's spirit that was speaking to her. But at the end of the session, Clara leaned in with a warning for Lisa. She told her, Mark is struggling to find peace. Negative energy is holding him back. For $200, I can perform a cleansing ritual to help him move on. So Lisa was so desperate that she agreed to give Clara this $200. That started the cycle of exploitation. Over the next few months, Lisa became a regular client of Clara's. Each session, Clara had new warnings for her. She had karmic debt, she had unresolved spiritual ties, harmful energy in her home. Clara always had a solution for these things for a price. $300 for a deeper reading, $500 for an energy alignment, $1,000 for a protection grid to safeguard her and her children. Of course, these costs started mounting up, and Lisa drained her savings and she maxed out her credit cards. When Lisa expressed to Clara that her friends expressed concern about this, Clara dismissed it. She told her they don't understand the spiritual realm. Their doubts could harm Mark's transition. So Lisa was feeling increasingly isolated and relying more and more on Clara. She pushed away anybody who questioned her choices. So let's hop into some real life exploitation cases just to kind of clarify the things that Lisa went through, because this is fictional, but there are real life experiences. So the first one is the Rose Marks scandal. Rose Marks was a proclaimed psychic who defrauded her clients over $25 million over 20 years, including one of her victims who paid her $17 million because they were seeking closure after their son's death. Marks used fear tactics, claiming curses of karmic blocks to trap her clients in a cycle of financial dependence. And then there was the Christina Zito lawsuit. Christina paid $200,000 to a psychic who claimed her family was cursed. Only after realizing the fraud did she file a lawsuit leading to the psychic's arrest. Christina said later, I wanted to believe she could help me. She knew exactly how to play on my fear. Then there was Gina Marie Marks, and you guessed it, she was Rose's daughter. She also scammed clients out of hundreds of thousands of dollars using similar tactics as her mom, claiming expensive rituals were necessary for spiritual cleansing. And here's a fact for you. According to the Better Business Bureau, complaints about psychic fraud have risen 40% in recent years, with victims losing an estimated $2 billion annually. What makes someone like Lisa or any of us vulnerable to exploitation? The answer lies in the interplay of grief, trauma, and the manipulative tactics of predatory spiritual workers. Grief is disorienting. It can create this longing for answers. You want to connect with your loved one who passed away. You want to know why they died. Things like that can impair your judgment and leave you susceptible to suggestions. Another fact for you, a 2020 study in Frontiers in Psychology revealed that people experiencing grief are significantly more likely to seek out psychics or mediums for comfort. Now, in Lisa's case, her unresolved guilt and her desire to help Mark blinded her to all those red flags. When someone claims to have a unique connection to the spiritual world, we are more likely to trust them even without the evidence. This is known as authority bias. Fraudulent psychics often present themselves as chosen or divinely gifted, reinforcing their authority with mystical symbols like crystals, certificates, and spiritual jargon. Lisa saw Clara as the bridge to Mark, making it hard to question her motives. Then there's the emotional isolation. Isolation compounds vulnerability. Fraudulent spiritual workers often discourage their clients from seeking alternative perspectives. Lisa was told that her friend's doubt could disrupt their energy, isolating her even further. Real-life victims like Christina Zito report similar tactics, where psychics create dependency by casting doubt on external support systems. And then the fear-based tactics. Predatory spiritual workers often use fear to manipulate their clients, creating a sense of urgency. So here's a real-life example for you. A psychic in California charged a client $10,000 to remove a family curse, warning of dire consequences if she didn't act immediately. In Lisa's story, Clara used the fear of Mark being trapped in a lower realm to push Lisa into expensive rituals. Techniques like code reading allow psychics to appear as though they know intimate details about their clients. By observing body language, emotional cues, and vague statements, they lead clients to fill in the blanks. For Lisa, Clara's statement about Mark's forgiveness felt deeply personal, but it was a calculated guess. So Lisa's wake-up call came when Clara claimed that Mark's spirit was trapped in a lower vibrational realm and needed $5,000 purification ritual. For the first time, Lisa hesitated. How could her husband's peace depend on her financial sacrifices? Encouraged by her sister, Lisa sought help from a grief counselor. Through therapy, she began to see how Clara had manipulated her pain and her desire for closure. Lisa's recovery was not easy, but it was transformative. She joined a grief support group and found comfort in connecting with others who understood her loss. She also began exploring spirituality on her own terms, rebuilding trust in her inner strength. Here are some red flags to watch out for. Number 1, the fear-based warnings about curses or negative energy. Number 2, isolation tactics that discourage external advice. Number 3, pressure to act quickly or pay large sums up front. And number 4, overpromising results such as guaranteed spiritual connections. And how do we stay safe? First of all, you want to do your research. Check reviews and credentials before trusting a spiritual worker. Get a second opinion. Consult therapists, grief counselors, or trusted friends. Learn about techniques like code reading to recognize manipulative tactics. Lisa's story and the real-life cases like hers serve as a powerful reminder. True healing comes from within. While spirituality can be a beautiful source of comfort, it requires discernment and self-trust. No one else can dictate your spiritual journey. The most important connection is the one you have with yourself. By sharing stories like Lisa's, we can empower others to navigate their spiritual path safely and confidently. Thank you for spending time with me today as we explored Lisa's story and the deeper truths about spiritual exploitation. It's heartbreaking to see how vulnerability can be turned into a weapon, but also a reminder of how important it is to approach spirituality with awareness and discernment. If you've ever felt drawn into a similar situation or know someone who has, remember you are not alone and there are people and resources that can help. Healing does not have to come at the cost of your peace of mind, your relationships, or your financial stability. Let's continue to create spaces for conversations like this. Spaces where we can support each other, learn, and grow together. If this story resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your experience in the comments and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, take care of yourselves and trust your inner light. It is the most powerful guide you'll ever have.